Welcome back to the Overwatch League, and what better way to close out your Saturday with a bit of a cloud fiesta? I'm Mitch Leslie, here with Matt Morello. We are clouds.
It's not a clown fiesta, it's El Clasico.
Okay, that is definitely a different take on pretty much the same thing. Chengdu Hunters go up against the Houston Outlaws, and for Chengdu, we're in must-win territory now, Matt.
And this is a match that the LA Valiant are going to be watching very carefully because they want the Houston Outlaws to win in a bad way. That the Chengdu Hunters are still alive in terms of playoff contention. We can take a look at the season standings. So the Hunters right now sitting at 12 and 15. This will be their final match of the season. So if they're able to win this puts a ton of pressure on the Valiant. They would pass the Valiant, obviously one more win. The Valiant would have to win one of the two games at their homestand. One against the Gladiators, one against the Shock, which is a very difficult path for them to
two undefeated teams at stage.
So look, in the Hunters, although they've had a up and down stage where they probably could have had a better stage than they've had, they still have a chance. You win today against the Outlaws, who are out. The Outlaws just trying to play spoil. And then two Valiant losses, it doesn't seem as crazy because of who the Valiants play. The Gladiators are not going to want to let the Valiant in. That LA rivalry, they're not going to want to just be the ones to let them in.
Definitely not going to look
no
to let
way,
them take anything away. So that would also add a lot of extra pressure for the Valiant at their homestand. But for the Chengdu Hunters, that's what they need to achieve. They need to at least get that win here. And they're raring to go. They're already ready to get out onto the stage. So let's make some noise and welcome the Chengdu Hunters. I got voices in my ear like, yo, they're ready, they want to play, they're raring, they're frothing in the mouth. Chengdu leads the crew, Yong Xiaolong just behind him. Chengdu Hunters are a team that have been awfully hard to predict, Matt.
He's got a blue crew sign in front.
All about it, I see it. We're all the blue crew, that is all of us.
Now, this is a team that potentially could be the last game of their season, depending on how it goes in terms of playoffs. They've been a very exciting team from start to finish of the league when a lot of teams were playing GOATs. This is a team that did not bend to that. They played around aiming in the wrecking ball. They played with Jinmu playing the Pharah and the Hanzo, and they made it work early on.
Chengdu here absolutely want to try and take the Outlaws off guard, Matt. We talk about their signature style. It's unique, it's very aggressive, and it's different. You know, the league average for main usage is about 60%. The main usage amount for the Chengdu Hunters is about 8%. It's way less. Yeah, they've been playing a lot of different stuff, especially with Yong Xiaolong lineup, playing some McCree. They like to play Jinmu on whether it be the Pharah, the Genji, or the Hanzo. Playing a little bit Doomfist as well at this stage. So the Hunters, although the meta seems to be going towards Mei and Reaper, they don't seem to conform to that either. And now their opponents are ready to take to the stage. Make some noise for the Lone Star crew. It is the Houston Outlaws. And it's been a bittersweet season for Houston. At times, looking ferocious, looking absolutely dynamite, especially towards the end of stage 3. That late resurgence, though, just wasn't enough to pave their way to playoff glory. Yeah, they fall a bit short of making the overall season playoffs. They've had a few rough stages. 3-3 was not exactly their thing. They start to play some more damage dealers, and then you start to see where some of the acquisitions in the offseason, like Dante, really paid off. This has been the roster. They've been kind of running out of, though sometimes you see a change in terms of damage. Maybe we see Jake in the lineup, but today it'll be Linkser and Dante again. The Outlaws have always had one sort of meta that's afflicted them quite badly over, you know, 2 different seasons. First it was a lack of Tracer player, then 3-3 hurt them, but Jinmu versus Linkser. That's a matchup, especially when Hanzo is concerned. Both players have been filling that role. Jinmu's looked extremely good, freakishly so. And you can see the head-to-head statistically. I mean, Jinmu was one of the better Hanzos that we've seen in the Overwatch League this season, just being able to hit the crazy flick shots, you know, pick off 2-3 players in an instant. Links are pretty consistent on a lot of the damage dealers that you see in play. His numbers aren't really like stand out in a lot of different heroes, but he plays them pretty solid. Links have spent much of this season either chilling on the bench or playing Zarya, Matt. It wasn't always enabling him to play heroes that work to his strengths. Here's your map set presented by Toyota. It all begins on Ilios, a map where Chengdu were the first to play that wrecking ball, especially in a 3-3. They still like to use it here. Yeah, it's really, you know, the main tank role with Eamon. They really only have wrecking ball and Orisa available right now. I mean, that's really kind of all you need. And they haven't had a need to bring Chichiren into that starting lineup.
They kind of messed around with it a little bit, but I think you've had good success with this roster, whether it be Young Long or Bacon Jack in terms of your hit scan damage dealer. So
we see your Bacon Jack often gets subbed in for the last map or
Links are starting on Widow here. Is probably because you're going to expect the Jinmu Pharah. Maybe he can get a pick off the break. If he does, maybe decide to switch.
He's pushing out straight away. He's not looking for a kill off the break. He's committing.
Jinmu's shot. Smart. Jinmu's going way around the outside here of the lighthouse.
Linksa has to expect this. He hasn't seen it come from the right, so he knows that he has to be near the lighthouse. And Linksa can assist Dante here in the Pharah battle, but he takes a direct hit. I mean, he was just standing around, an innocent bystander. Still, Jinmu's able to light him up. Ooh, pressure.
This is going to be way harder for Chengdu and Eviltal as opposed to Dante and Boink, as no Widow on the side, the Chengdu Hunters. So
I feel like Hanzo can't get involved in this fight as much as Widow can, right?
And especially because Jinmu's going up against another Pharah Mercy combo and has to hide from the Widow. So a lot for Jinmu to deal with.
Oh, big hit on Dante there. He kept healed up in the Widow. This Widow battle definitely going to make a difference.
What?
Oh, Jinmu, when we thought he was fighting Dante, has enough mental bandwidth to knock Mumra into the pit.
And dodge the Widowmaker as well. Like, it is crazy as we can get on board with Jinmu and see from his POV, but probably just shot Concussive Blast straight down there. I mean, connected on the backside of Muma.
He's dealing with so many threats, and still he's able to dispatch the most important part of the Outlaws lineup. That is just a cursory little knockoff into the pit. Muma, no way he's coming back from that.
Muma was playing from the same space there, and now he's going to have to rotate all the way around to the other side.
And it's insane. Getting rid of Muma gives your team the point. I mean, there's no staying power after that for Houston. And that's going to hurt now, because how did Houston retake? Well, they have to get rid of Amon and Chengdu. And it's not started well, with Kyo and Young Xiaolong opening up the account. Outlaws are already down to 3, and Linksa is gonna struggle.
And they nano Dante during this and try and send him in, and he gets absolutely nothing. As soon as they nano Dante, everybody else starts to fall for the Outlaws. So the point still heavily held by the Chengdu Hunters. Is really no good attempts from the Houston Outlaws here. It's been a little bit sloppy early on. Dante has about 46% of the team's damage, which you expect to have it pretty high as being a Pharah player. It's just you're not really getting much with the Widow of Linksa.
Spree trying to play forward here, but Elsa doesn't really give him much to do. Right in his face, Supercharger being deployed by Amon. And Uma's already down again! The Outlaws, Matt, haven't gotten much done in this round at all. The only player with a final blow is Dante, and that was on Jinmu.
Still coming on this outside angle of the Pharah, but Muma, who's going to switch to Wrecking Ball here, probably just to get back, touch the point, make an impact.
This smacks of desperation, Matt.
Yeah, this one's not been close.
Dante just getting rolled by Young Xiaolong at close range.
Double knock in.
There it is. Huge knockoff for Muma now. Without a healer and that main tank. Looking better for Houston. Muma gets caught in that Dragon Strike. It's forced already quickly. Oh! He rolled back into the Dragon Strike. He thought it was gone, but it wasn't.
This is just Spree on the point, just trying to contest it now. Eamon comes back on the ball, so kills going in favor of the Outlaws. It's a nice sleep there from Raucus, but
Amon can't
is it enough?
It. It's still overtime though. The Hunters are still in control of the point. Raucus goes down. Houston, all right, Dante finally flies low enough to the ground to complete the capture. And that was tense times.
Young Xiaolong with a quick switch over to Widowmaker as well. We can take a look at Muma. This is the knock-in.
Beautiful. Yeah, exactly what you're looking for. Oh, even the fade. Kyo, the thing is, fade, you can't go up in verticality, right? So if you're already below the lip of that well and you hit fade, it's too late by then. Dante trying to keep that right side room quiet. Be hurting after that one. He's flying very close to the wall, so splash damage from Dante will be pretty punishing.
Eviltal's gonna go chain.
Yeah, that's about the Eviltal. Dante still being pocketed though. Elsa dueling with Spree here on this corner. 37% accounting for Houston now. Here's the barrage though. Jinmu wants to put this to an end. Both supports felled by the Pharah. Linksa and Dante now have to do the rest of the work, but it's tough with no healing, Matt. They have to try and hide away, but Young Xiaolong is looking to do a cleanup. And it's just Muma left now. You think he has to stall for as long as he can for his teammates to get there. Very cheeky. Young Xiaolong forced to translocate away. Dante's back. He might have to stall out here We'll be in overtime immediately as this point gets taken.
Yeah, Raucus gets there and get a touch. You still have Spree getting on here now, and that'll be the minefield. Dante lingering up above, though, with the rocket barrage. He's going to connect at one.
That's the start. Dante finds the pick, but no, he's taken down by Young Xiaolong. He gets too close to the Sombra. Jinmu's brought back into the fight now, and Linksa has to try and stay alive. Even Boink's going to go for the Caduceus Blaster now inside Valkyrie. The Outlaws are still in control. Or they lost control of the point, should I say. They have players close by. But Muma has to hang on for as long as he can, and he's hacked. He might not be able to get away from this one at all. Trickle come the Outlaws players, but not enough of any of them. Keo finishes off Dante as he tries to set foot on the point with that coalescence, and it's a D-suit on Spree. He's down now. Lynx has finished off, and there it is. Well, the Outlaws, they tried. They hung on.
As it gets a little bit more competitive, it really was all Hunters early. They get to basically 99. And then the Outlaws start to make a game out of it, but in the end, Chengdu just used some of those ultimates. They bank up, some good switches. And we're able to take the point back.
The impact of Jinmu's concussive blast knocking Muma into the pit.
Oh, at the beginning, yeah. I mean, that would have been a long Orisa versus Orisa battle for contention on the point.
And it would have come down to the Farah battle. But then after that, the Farah battle didn't matter, because your team moved an Orisa onto the point, and the Outlaws was too dangerous for them to step up and contest.
I think this will be a big telling point on how the series goes. So we move over to Ruins here next, and you'll have Young Xiaolong versus Linkser in the Widowmaker battle. Linkser has to get the better of this if we see both the Widowmakers in play. Linkser, one of the better counter snipers we see in the Overwatch League, needs to get good value out of the Widowmaker here, or else you could have the Hunters take map 1.
Again, the Hunter's signature disdain for Mei shows forth as Jinmu's on the Sombra this time. Young Xiaolong looking for Linkser, but he doesn't really care too much about anyone else for the time being. He's playing pretty safely himself now on this left-hand side. Young Xiaolong tries to come forward, holds it away. He's run headlong into Dante. That's not where you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
That's very aggressive positioning.
I mean, you grapple into the Mei to try and get like a headshot. Like, it's not the best strategy there in that scenario. As Lynx are ready with an info sight. The Outlaws have the point as well as Elsa, he'll get trapped in the corner. So now they switch off from Widow and go Doomfist here. So Linkser will take out Elsa and Keo. So do you stay on Doomfist? Was this just trying to get back to the point? Like,
Spree just booked him as soon as he appeared.
We've seen the Hunters do this, play the Doomfist Sombra into this composition. It's just not ideal.
Okay, Orisa bunker set up on the high ground here, which makes it a little bit more costly for Houston to try and get through. Amon tried to knock them off that high ground. Lynx is in deep trouble. He doesn't want to be there, Matt. He's just right in the eye of the storm, and not in a good way. Spree forced to back up. Now, that little bunker assembly did not work out for the Outlaws. And Spree's hit with a biotic grenade. Keo makes it so they take a breather. There's nothing.
And I think this is like the, if you were to like describe the Chengdu Hunters this season as a whole, like, this is exactly what it is. Like, they come in with a Doomfist against a Mei composition when they really want to like try and bunker up against Roadhog a lot to be able to stop Doomfist. And just, you know, aiming on the ball is just so good. They're able to break through it. Now the Hunters control the point.
Feels like the Outlaws got a little ahead of themselves there with that play.
Well, now, I mean, look, you have Sombra and Mei in place. The Halt's really good against Doom.
They're trying to
fortify as well. Yeah, like.
Oh, Keo! Oh, okay, both teams want to assert themselves, Matt. Both teams choose to really play very aggressively at the start of these fights, and they've both been punished now in turn. Come on. Hacked, not frozen. That's about to change. And the Outlaws will be able to move back onto the point here, and that's, I want to say it's uncharacteristic error from Chengdu, but it's really not.
And I mean, Chengdu, they end up using their Meteor Strike there for Young Xiaolong, just trying to like live a little bit longer as he dives into the back line. But the Outlaws, they're going to have a Blizzard in this fight, supercharge a whole hog, 3 really good ultimates, knock players around as that'll be a nano boost that's used here from the Hunters on it. They actually get a sleep on the Spree. They're going to be able to burst Spree down.
That's insane. So much burst damage onto the Roadhog, and now Dante is hacked. Jinmu with the EMP. And the Outlaws at least can stall at this point for as long as they possibly can, but they save ults, Matt. They kind of already lost the fight as it started, so.
The sleep on the Spree is massive. They sleep the Roadhog at that point. The Outlaws don't want to use any other ultimates in the fight when the Roadhog goes down. He's just like a large He's a damage dealer, right? But then he also has the large HP pool. Straight insane for the point as the Hunters, they just want to go.
They're so aggressive. Sleep on Young Xiaolong though. Can they shut the Doomfist down? Yes, they can. Spree's able to survive and finish him off. Again, the Hunters just try and fall upon the Outlaws. And Houston have some ultimates to spare, Matt. When they get back to the point, they might be able to put something together. Elsa used his. Jinmu doesn't have any MP on the horizon here, but Houston need to move to get this capture done as soon as possible.
They just threw some ultimates in there, the Hunters. I mean,
That's just bizarre.
they were down a player. They end up using the minefields. It's not really close to getting anything done in the alleyway. It's spread so far out because he's so high. And then Elsa uses a self-destruct. Now all you have is this sound barrier here for the Hunters.
He's hacked on the point. Lisa needs to deal with the rest of the players though. Spots Young Xiaolong. Sees Kyo. There's the EMP. Gets aim on Elsa and Kyo. Catches three, but the sound barrier still comes out. Fundamentals from Eviltal shining through. Lynx is able to get Young Xiaolong here, but they've already lost Dante. Spree trying to hold the fort as well as he can, but Amon is pushing up. He is nano boosted and he's not messing around. Dante, deep trouble for him. He doesn't get away. Amon with two. Boink was able to get rid of Eviltal here, and with Elsa being desuited, there's a chance here for Outlaws. They're at 99%. A round hangs in the balance. The Diva's gone. Amon gets hacked, and this is where you get rid of the Wrecking Ball. He's able to walk away, but he doesn't look pretty doing it, and that's another sleep. You need to deal with Young Xiaolong here, though. He needs to be removed. Overtime, very close to ticking down there as Jinmu is wiped off the face of the map. Young Xiaolong couldn't get back to the fight. Messy, scrappy, and quite the brawl as we head down to round 3 on Ilios.
Yeah, as Young Xiaolong uses the Meteor Strike, actually tries to go for Boink, who's off of the point. As soon as that happens, overtime dwindles away as we go down to one more round of Ilios to decide map number 1. It's not really been overly convincing from either side. A lot of Chengdu plays from Chengdu. So they do not want to play Mei for whatever reason. So they come out now. This makes a little bit more sense with Jinmu on the Doomfist and Young Xiaolong on McCree in terms of like what we've seen from them in terms of hero pool.
It's
still
tough out there for McCree, man.
Yeah.
Still, even with a boost to his fire rate.
Well, you feel better about McCree on this point as opposed to some others. Like this is really like McCree's effective range, like how this map is set up. So he's able to put pretty good damage down on the Pharah from anywhere. The difficult part will be dealing with the Widowmaker as well.
Dante might have just got told there isn't. I mean, he's playing pretty safe. No real commitment from the Pharah. Great way to charge up some ultimate percentage. This keeps the Hunters well behaved, at least beginning with. Amon slept in midair there by Raucus, and then Raucus turns around and gets rid of Jinmu. He's having a game. Dante doesn't have to find final blows here, just try and keep the Hunters' heads down.
Another sleep from Raucus on Amon.
Mate, he's killing it. Nice finish from Linksa. He'll play a little bit more forward for now and see if he can catch any stragglers before returning. The Outlaws open up in the lead.
And the switch from the Hunters from McCree to Sombra tells you they do not want to try and switch to the Widowmaker, take that long-range battle. They want to just try and dive onto these players on the point.
Eviltal caught by Linksa there. Headshot on the Lucio.
This is going to be so difficult to break this with trying to run this comp. Like, playing the Wrecking Ball, like, he's just getting slept and hooked and halted, and you're not really getting much with it here.
Raucus has 9 enemies slept over the course of this map so far, which is very solid. Especially against a very mobile composition from Chengdu. They're never really standing in one place.
You're relying on Jinmu here to get some picks, but they're playing Pharah Widow, like 2 heroes who can play extremely far away from the Doomfist. Like, it's so difficult to get anything going.
Jinmu's just trying to go for tank smash, but even that's hard. Dante, that's very aggressive, almost into the Inferno.
Yeah, but you're losing Amon every 2 minutes. I mean, he's just going in, die, and then you have to wait some more. I mean, they're not really going to get many good attempts here on this point.
In Young Xiaolong. Oh, one rocket would have done the job. Dante trying to dump altitude, is able to avoid the self-destruct. Now he's a little bit close to the enemy though. He blows Kyo up and gets Eviltal as well. 2 supports for the price of 1 barrage. But the Outlaws did lose Raucus there, crucially. The remaining control, they'll stall this out as long as they can. Now with that Boink, they are without healing outside of Spree. Jinmu trying to finish that kill, chasing Linksa down. Oh, it's a trade! Linksa gets a melee as Jinmu comes careening past him. And with no Doomfist, this point gets a little bit harder to break. It has to be Coalescence to point blank now, and Spree couldn't run away from that one. He caught it himself. The Outlaws will keep stalling out, though. Pressure will be mounting on the Hunters to try and get control.
And they nano Dante here on the Sombra inside of the point. He's just trying to put down some extra damage. You have Boink there. The point does flip to the Chengdu Hunters, but Dante, when he goes over to Sombra, gets the nano, puts down enough damage to earn himself an EMP during this. So you'll have an EMP for Dante. Linkser switches to McCree here to try and deal with some of the flankers from the Hunters as well. So some switches from the Outlaws, some ultimates to use.
Linkser, the McCree now. Saw him punish Jinmu already. Jinmu's one spot. It was Junkertown actually put to sleep with the EMP, no less. He was able to get away with it, but only just. They still lost Jinmu, though. Dante very low. He wasn't translocating back to a health pack, but he has Lucio nearby. The Outlaws are quite split right now. Great biotic grenade, though. Down in that small room there. Pressuring Elsa away. Eviltal down. Spree moves to the point here. Wants to bring aim on with him, but he gets hacked up. Young Sherlock found Dante as well. Spree running for his life, but he can't escape.
Hunters do use an EMP and Coalescence to get that done, though. Like, they're going to come back into the next fight. The Outlaws with a nano boost. Supercharger, EMP, Deadeye. Some really good ultimates to use here. I mean, you have the self-destruct, but that'll really just be used for like a remeching situation here. The sound barrier is going to be the one that's going to try and keep the Chengdu Hunters alive. We'll see if Eviltal, he's got to be able to dodge this EMP.
You've got to feel the map rests on Eviltal getting a sound barrier here, right?
Yeah.
It's so important that Lucio can avoid being EMP. Dante doesn't allow that to happen, but he's revealed himself here.
Oh, he
got Amon in mid-air while he was over the pit. Amon couldn't escape. That is brilliant. Dante getting the highest value kill you could ask for here. Getting rid of the Wrecking Ball just for the price of a hack. Absolutely stellar. Now with Eviltal hacked, he's not getting away. Raucus runs him down. The Outlaws are back in control, and they are looking mighty fine. Amon's going to try and get to the point. Oh, he didn't quite hit the mark there, did he? Didn't make it. And the Outlaws, they will take map number 1 in this series. And somewhere, the Los Angeles Valiant are grinning from ear to ear.
The Outlaws, they rely on the Sombra there towards the end. Some good play in the damage dealers from Linkser and Dante to get them past the Hunters. And if you're the Hunters, can you continue to play these types of compositions throughout this series and get a win? Because your season depends on it. They need to win this game. You can take a look.
Oh, this was it here, yep.
Yeah. This is where he hacks him as he falls over the side.
See you later. Oh man, we'll be back with map 2.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Apagando las luces. Nerf this. Heal with it. With it.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, until September 16th, that Flying Ace Winston skin will be available, of course, to commemorate our Season 1 champions of London Spitfire.
Yeah,
you're
it's
farming
pretty
up
sweet.
those Overwatch League tokens by watching. That's where you get to spend it. Isn't that right?
Yeah. You gotta obviously have the Jonak one, you gotta have this one now, so it's pretty cool to see some of the skins making it into the game.
Matt, I always feel like this is that match which we see Chengdu, going up against a team that sits mid-table.
Yeah.
You really never know which way it's going to go. I really feel like Dante hitting that airborne hack on Amon, we sort of clipped before the break, kind of sealed up that map.
I always feel with the Hunters, like map 1, you kind of learn a lot about what the rest of the series is going to be. Like their strategies either really throw the other team off and it works against them and it becomes really messy, or the other team's prepared for it, they know how to play around it, and they're able to just kind of circumvent it really, I don't want to say make it look easy, but they're able to figure it out.
Talking about things that we don't expect, though, we've got another one for you. Substitutions here coming in for the Houston Outlaws. That's right. For the first time since week 2, Jake is back in the roster for Houston. Taking some time for oneself is important, but he's now back in, subbed in for Dante, ready to hit the ground and run it.
So Jake, obviously another player, you can play the Pharah for the Houston Outlaws. We'll see what he decides to play. On Temple of Anubis, a good Junkrat map.
Yep.
You can play some Junkrat. Maybe we get to be treated to the Jake Rat one more time this season.
That would be quite something special, wouldn't it? Might be the case even. Or maybe he's just locked in. He's on a
Junkrat. Okay.
Probably not the best. Junkrat naturally wants to try and use high ground. Make it easy to connect with his grenades. Most of you know this. Genji is a distinct possibility. Sombra Genji with a Wrecking Ball on the attack. I like me some dive offense here in 2-2-2. Young Jialong will be the doorman. See some movement over on that left-hand side. That's raucous.
And I believe with that map 1, we do have a playoff update that will come soon. Did have some playoff invitations. So,
there
the
it is.
So they've climbed into the top 12, a guaranteed spot with that Houston Outlaw map win. So
That's crazy. What a turnaround for that franchise.
got
Congrats
scary
to the Dragons.
Yeah. But they're able to make it into the top 12. That's a big biotic grenade there that's landed from Raucous onto the Chengdu Hunters. But the Outlaws not able to follow up on it.
A little bit awkward spot here. Jindu's doing some serious work, and Jake couldn't find much. Again, decent opportunity for him to accrue some ultimate percentage. That's about it, though.
They build towards that Nano Blade.
The earlier that comes, the better. It's often the way to break this. And this is something we were seeing from the Vancouver Titans until they sort of locked themselves into May and Reaper and just decided to try and work that composition.
It's Keo will have that transcendence on defense here now for the Chengdu Hunters. Is Jinmu playing the Junkrat, really like that first line of defense, putting down a ton of damage. Now they'll know with the Inforesight that Muma's behind, so see how much they don't really put any emphasis on Muma as they actually decide to just push through the front side. So they know the main play here. Young Jialong able to hit a headshot there in the midst of all the chaos.
Gotta love yourself some Infrasight. He's wanting for someone below him. You never know when there's a Sombra afoot, but Linkser is forced to translocate back out to the rest of his team.
But they're having an EMP, Dragon Blade, and Nano here. How do you survive that? Like, both support ults and a Riptire might be enough. Maybe a defensive self-destruct.
Okay, this is
Gonna be tough.
preemptive. Interesting. Doesn't even get the T-suit.
Oh.
Spree still able to stay in the mech. Nah, gee, that feels terrible,
Oh,
but
they get boink though.
that's going to take the Mercy out of the picture. It's also going to prolong the wait time for Valkyrie. Links are down.
Oh, the Hunters used their back.
It did perhaps they, you know what? No, because no.
Maybe Muma actually pressured out Evital, but didn't seem like he was low. In fact, maybe they expected a...
Chengdu maybe expected Houston to be more committed to that.
Maybe they expected the EMP there. Linkser was like kind of around by the backside of the bridge, but still.
Jake was lucky to avoid that. Holt came in, would have been the end of it. He needs to get a good Dragon Blade here. This must be the Nano Blade to end all. The Outlaws need to get this point. Holt was nasty. He's after Jinmu. Gets him. First strike. Looking for more. He needs more, Jake, but he can't find any more targets. And as he comes down, Elsa catches him up. Spree's able to get rid of Eviltal, though, and Lynx's EMP was able to assist with the Outlaws, trying to strike a lethal blow here. Elsa in mech, self-destruct now. Jake gets Young Xiaolong on the return. He gets Boink somehow. And now it's going to be the Doomfist here from Jinmu to prolong this one, but a hack will silence him. Ooh. I mean, Outlaws had to use it all, man. They had to use everything.
They got to empty the tank, but they're able to get it done, right? It's barely at the end. As Linkser has to use the EMP after the Nano Blade. You would have loved to be able to save that EMP as you went on towards that second point. They're going to switch off of this, though. They're going to go May Reaper. They're going to stay on ball here. They're going to go dive defense here. The Hunters and Eamon's dead. I mean, instantly just gets hacked up, taken out. Now they're going to
what is going on
here? This is just...
Well,
they get rocked.
The Hunters, they asked for this.
Yeah, I mean, this is Chengdu, right? I mean, this is how they play.
Houston have no supports left, though. They get a free tick. Well, that's really not something you want as Chengdu, but they committed to that. They realized that they were already 1 foot in the depths.
Yeah.
And they followed up to get rid of Raucous and Boink, so...
I think it's just really surprising because you see how, like, a lot of the other teams in the league are playing. It's just a really drastic change of playstyle when you see the Hunters play. The Hunters know that their best chance is to play aggressive, to play these types of compositions.
This is why you want, you know, if you're a
I mean, look at this. So, you know, Jinmu just goes in, just insta-kills Boink there over the wall. I mean,
this is an insanely aggressive play. If you haven't seen a ton of Anubis in the past, this never happens. Teams never play so far forward for so long. Now the Outlaws, they go with the main Reaper to try and punish Chengdu's aggression, but
a lot of close quarters for Jinmu to, like, just go in and get a punch off like he did there in a Boink. You know, all it takes is one of those. Eamon gets picked off way back. Akio's dead as well. He's barely going to make it out. Nope. They boop him back in and they trap him.
That's actually a good little bit of stagger if the Outlaws now going to push to the point. Jinmu needs to get an instant kill. He instantly needs to pick someone off. Nope, he thinks better of it. He's a long way away from home now. He's out the front door. There's an EMP though. Jake with a Raucous or Hawk, but that one, Lynx's blended in! That was supposed to be the key! Just munched down by Elsa. And the Hunters are presenting multiple openings and opportunities for the Outlaws to use. They've not been able to so far, and now they're down to 90 seconds.
I was going to say, even when it looks like the Outlaws get an advantage early on, they're not able to capitalize on it as the teleport coming up to the high ground. Should go back up. Elsa put the sleep right. They don't have the D-Day in play, but...
Okay, wall goes up, self-destruct there, movement knocked across the breach, he's in trouble!
There's a Reaper going on the spawn here from Jake. I mean, this is just an all-out brawl.
It's a 1-for-1, and the Outlaws have opted into the Cloud Fiesta! Never go full Chengdu.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just the Outlaws just try, like, nobody plays defense like this on Anubis B. So, like, how are you practicing against this type of comp? Like, you're not, it's just, you can practice against this comp, but fighting against it in this type of area is just really weird compared to, like, a lot of
other new. It's just something that there's no playbook for.
No. I mean, they engage with a coalescence here. I mean, they lose their main tank virtually every time at the beginning of these fights, but it doesn't even matter.
Spree sends in a self-destruct, hoping to punish him up.
Like, where's he going?
Wherever he pleases.
As they may get a hold here, only 10 seconds left.
Amon here, gonna be causing... Oh my! Look at how quickly he generated an ultimate. That is, just throw it at the front door. This is a masterclass, Amon! Frozen up, trying to get back to spawn. He will try to be body blocked by Linkser, who got hacked. Amon gets to safety though, and he'll return soon enough. Jinmu there. Makes a meal out of Boomer. But Lynx has got 2. Can he get more? No! Up on top of the wall, and Chengdu just lands on him. Spree's able to deal with Chengdu with the 1v1, and there's now a self-destruct on the point. Spree not too bothered though. Coalescence coming in from that left-hand side, and Amon's still healthy enough. Spree is low though, indeed. No one from Chengdu is really focusing on the Diva right now though. Jake, definitely much more of a threat to them. This is overtime. Now Jialong looking to hopefully get a finish on maybe a Lucio here, but Jake's down, and there it is! The Houston Outlaws have been led up and down the garden path.
That is a crazy round of Anubis. You eliminate the scoreboard at the top, and people don't even know what side of the map you're on. You would have thought that Chengdu was on offense, how aggressive they were playing. The Outlaws able to make 1 tick of permanent progress onto point B. So they will have that in terms of the defensive standard. That's kind of where they'll have to set the bar. Still a chance to win this map. We'll see Chengdu's offense after this.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Apagando las luces. 不许走。不许走。
Meteor strike.
Your head is spinning after that first round. Don't feel bad, because you're likely not the only one. Chengdu Hunters, they made some topsy-turvy situations for the Outlaws to try and navigate there. Houston were attacking, they keep running into Doomfist and Wrecking Ball and just completely being disrupted. Chengdu really exemplify the element of chaos and how powerful it can be in this game.
Yeah, and I think Chengdu definitely have made it clear they want to dive, they want to be aggressive, they don't want to sit around and play like May Reaper, like slower types of comps. They want to be the aggressor in this matchup. The Outlaws on defense, they'll play May Junkrat. So Jake on the Junkrat here. So they have aim and trap, so he will fall and won't have the main tank.
This is something that you account for if you're Chengdu. If Amon doesn't quite get his launch right, he'll probably get picked off pretty early, especially against a May Junkrat comp. This is high damage, high burst, good crowd control. Jake already halfway to a Riptire. Hear that echoing in the halls of Overwatch League history for many years to come, I'm sure. Yang Xiaolong harassing on the point. Can they keep Boink alive? Yes, he's able to get away, but Linksa is not so lucky. Elsa to the high ground. Jake trying to play safe here. I don't know if he realizes there's an... Okay, he does realize Armor's here, yep. Keo, remote mine. Keo knocked to the high ground. It takes 2. But Jake's happy with that nonetheless. He has a Riptire here. Oh, look at that. He threw down a trap, expecting Amon to drop in on him. That's some Galaxy brain. Now, he didn't roll over the trap, but still, saw he was ready for it.
We all know Jake has a tremendous Junkrat. Is that now they'll have a Riptire to use for the next fight?
I feel like that's a special word for you. Like, you save tremendous for something that is genuinely great. Normally you're pretty understated, but if it's tremendous, it's...
No, it is. I mean, last year his Junkrat was like one of the best, if not the best in the league.
This is so rude. He knows Yang Jialong's behind. detonates that a little bit early. I think he knew the Junkertown was sleeping on the high ground, but the tie never made it that far. Oh man, both teams getting really lackluster riptires.
They decided to blade without Nano here, so they'll have Nano. They've been Nano Amon, yeah, a while for the last few times they've got the Nano. So maybe you have EMP Nano with like a pile driver, then the minefield on the point. All you need is one tick.
Well, there it is, point A captured by Chengdu. And all the time in the world to mosey on over to point B and get 37.7%.
Like, and also with like Shanghai clinching a spot, like you're still in like almost worst case scenario for the Valiant because like Chengdu didn't win big and then like you only have one spot to still fight for, so that'll be the EMP. They use the minefield as well by the point.
Nano still being held by Kyo. Hasn't used it yet. Anyone get a minefield kill onto Jake and can't be good.
Build another blade up.
Yep, they might just save it, Matt. Well, they do have that time.
I mean, they self-destructed here to try and like get another mech. It was in the middle of nowhere. So, I mean, I guess you do have time on your side, but still, with the way like the Outlaws attack worked, we can see that time dwindle pretty quick. I mean, sound barrier here. You're going to be going into the blizzard of Linkser. Boink makes a change over to Brigitte, so they make the Brigitte switch because they know Blade is eventually going to come.
So they can try and be ready for it. Still hard to shut down a nanoblading Henry, Matt, even with that shield badge. Kyo, oh, hello, Jake drops in.
Didn't get the barrier off.
Jinmu getting removed here. Chengdu trying to reset now, probably realizing the nanoblade was long since off the table.
Giving you a little extra.
Jake starting to get rolling a little bit more now on this Doomfist. Oh dear, there's a wall there. Potentially a bit of a stagger. The Chengdu Hunters might come in and try and punish this, but the Outlaws look to be above reproach in this defense.
So we'll have to take another look there at Ivital's point of view with the sound barriers. I believe he went for it, but I believe it got interrupted. So you don't have anything now with that barrier. You'll have the Nano Blade, but time's dwindling down here for Chengdu. Like, starting to build up some more ultimates on more players here for the Outlaws, which isn't looking too good for them.
3 minutes. It's an eternity still in Overwatch terms, until it's not. Chengdu has the blade, and he's definitely attracting a lot of attention just by existing currently. Jake has the Meteor Strike out of there, a little bit risky. He drops in and gets Kyo though. Again, your Nano Boost is off the table, and again, the Hunters must turn tail.
So the Hunters now will have to back up. Still holding on to this Nano Boost. Back up to another sound barrier. You can see what happened with his previous sound barrier. So I believe he went to go drop it. Yeah.
Jake cancels seismic uppercut.
It's interrupted, punched over the side. So
even though he doesn't get the kill, he's able to interrupt it.
Hits the wall.
Rough. Well, Jake, the aforementioned, is already down at the start of this fight. He's playing a dangerous game, and now the Nanoblade finally works for the whole hog. Jinmu, where are you going? Trying to climb the wall. He's kept alive, but the Nanoblade doesn't get much done, so the Hunters need to rely on other methods to take this point.
Big EMP.
Chunky EMP, in fact. Jake and Muma just collapse, and all their circuitry is rendered useless. The Chengdu Hunters now poised to take this map away. Young Xiaolong, great post-EMP fight for Chengdu. And the series now heads into half-time, tied at 1 apiece.
Yes, Chengdu, they take map number 2. They'll probably look back on map number 1. It goes all the way down to the wire. They're just able to make better use of their dive compositions there on the Temple of Anubis. As they're able to win map 2. They got to win the rest of the series, though, to have a chance still at that overall playoff. We'll hear from the halftime crew after this.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. The Houston Outlaws may be eliminated from the playoff contention, but that doesn't mean they're not trying in this one. Trying to play spoiler against the Chengdu Hunters as we go into halftime at 1 apiece. Welcome back, everybody. It's Puckett inside the Blizzard Arena with Zoe and Sideshow. And this match is so important, not just for the Hunters, but for the Shanghai Dragons, for the Valiant, everybody watching this series. And so far, a lot more entertaining than I expected. Chengdu's struggling in our first map.
Yeah, they're doing their Chengdu thing where they just you know, like they're coming up with that one strat and then they just kind of roll with it and actually literally roll with it as they keep on insisting on putting Eamon on that Hammond. I don't mind him on Orisa. I don't think he's a bad Orisa, so I don't understand why he keeps on going back to the ball when he's playing into things such as Sombra, into Mei, like actual hard counters for your hamster.
When you see the Sombra, you switch, right, Josh?
I love it. I love it.
Stop it.
No,
Don't encourage him.
but here's the counter argument. Chengdu have to play to their strengths because, all right, maybe it would be better if he was playing the Orisa, and it would be better if they had a good Mei on the team, but they don't. They play the Chengdu style, and they live or die by how they play this Wrecking Ball composition with Jinmu playing Farah or Doomfist or whatever he wants to play. And yes, you can get hacked and fall off the side if you're the Wrecking Ball, and it's very sad. But that's the Chengdu Hunters way, and that's why Hex loves them, that's why Brent loves them, that's why all of their fans love them, is because Chengdu Hunters are so wild.
They've always
Doesn't
played
make
their
it
style,
right.
Yeah.
regardless of what the opponent is running. For the Houston Outlaws, though, who do you think is causing the biggest issues for the Hunters? Is it Dante on that Sombra?
It seems to be, yeah, because whether Dante's playing the Sombra or whether he's playing the Mei as well, those are the kind of heroes that really mess with the Chengdu Hunters and how they're playing. But actually, in the second map, it ended up being Jake that was causing them a few issues.
So let's take a look at Anubis. Remember, this is a must-win match for the Hunters if they want to lock in a top 12 spot for that play-in bracket. On Anubis, looked a little bit cleaner. Yes, Houston gets in your base, they score a little bit, but the Hunters much faster and full secure.
Yeah, it was great to see Jake back in the mix. Unsurprising, of course, on Anubis. They are counting on his Jake rat on that defense. The Genji, yeah, let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
However, Eamon had a fantastic ball moment right there. I did just criticize him for playing ball, but that one was just absolutely beautiful. I honestly thought they could have full hold him.
Yeah, I mean, I was feeling it. I was feeling the full hold, honestly, from both teams because the Junkrat defenses are so powerful. But when Jake missed that tire and then Jinmu comes in with that
blade,
then they've just got so much time. And the Chengdu's style is to run the Ana, so you have the Nano, and they run the Sombra, so you have the EMP, and they have Jinmu with the blades. Eventually, they're going to get 1 or 2 fights where it's an overwhelming advantage for them. It's a good map for the Chengdu.
So do you feel that this is a fair fight and it could go to a game 5? Is this all Chengdu in the second half? How do you see things playing out?
I mean, honestly, with those two teams, you never know. This is so hard to predict. I do think that technically, on paper, I would give Chengdu the edge, but they have a history of just suddenly feeding and stuff like that. So I don't know.
We don't know what to expect.
We don't know.
We'll leave it there, but we'll tell you what is on the line for this battle. Take a look at our standings right now. We've been announcing it as teams are locked in for our playoffs. We've got a number of teams in the top 6. You can see all the way through the Gladiators locked there. From Spitfire down, though, we're seeing everybody starting to lock in for the top 12, and their seeds will be determined. Currently, though, the Valiant, after their win today, they're above the Hunters. So the Hunters must win this, and then they're banking on the Valiant to lose both of their matches at the Kit Kat rivalry weekend.
And that seems fairly likely because Valiant are going up against Gladiators, who with that first map win for the Houston Outlaws locked in that top 6 spot. And then, I mean, then they go up against a Shock. So Hunters, this is the most important game of their season right now. They have to be able to beat the Houston Outlaws.
Well, if you were looking on Twitter already, you saw Shanghai celebrating with that map 1 win from Houston. Shanghai is in your top 12. They will be playing in that play-in tournament. But for the Valiant, they have been cheering all day long after their win. We started with the boys on Twitter. Here's a look at Kareev, GG's Boston Uprising. Raucous, kill everyone, please. Cheering on his fellow support. Keep it coming. Here's Packington, head coach of the Valiant. Anyone got an Outlaws jersey I can borrow for tonight's game? He knows he needs the green team to win.
I can see a few people in here that would be able to give him one as well. And Agilities as well. Win for us, Dante, I believe. I love this one from Custer.
Please, bro, just one match, bro. Just win, bro. One match, bro. I need my playoffs, bro. You can keep reading yourself.
I'm almost out of top 12. I mean, I love it. The Valiant, it's almost out of their control. Chengdu Hunters could wrap it up here, but it's so difficult for them.
And of course,
just watching it.
LA, don't fail us now. A Houston win is going to make it so much easier for the Valiant tonight. Guys, it's been a great show. It's all the Hunters. They control their destiny. We'll find out if they can walk away with the win in the second half.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Apagando las luces. Nerf this.
Pretty much just one spot up for grabs in our top 12 here. The road to play-ins has become incredibly narrow. Is it going to be Chengdu? Is it going to be the LA Valiant? We talked about this tons before the break, but if Chengdu win this game, the Valiant have to beat either the Gladiators or Shock, who in this stage, you don't want to go there.
I mean, in a lot of people's power rankings, those are, well, even before this week, those were your one and two teams, like right up there. And especially because like it's a big rivalry with both LA teams, right? It's going to be like a really like energetic venue, and then also the Cali Cup on the other side, right? I mean, that is one that the Shock do not want to lose.
So they're going to win either the Cali Cup or the Battle for LA to get in. That is insane, but pretty crazy to think that they have a shot at it after their stage one. But coming back to this match, Chengdu still have a chance to get in as well. And it's going to win this game, fam. Then they have a real crack at it.
And you look, I mean, we do have one sub for the Outlaws coming into this one, but if Chengdu were to win this, you feel pretty good. Like, it's going to be difficult for the Valiant to win both those games. So Dante will come in for Jake. The Valiant are a team that is definitely capable of doing it. It's just a position you would not want to be in.
Now,
the LA Valiant.
Dante comes back in here. Jake obviously showed us some Junkrat, some Doofy, some Genji on Anubis. There was potential there for it to be another Houston map win, but it didn't quite get across the line. Riptire on defense hurt them a little bit there. There are many factors that contributed, let's be honest, but Dante comes back in. The Tracer. So it won't be a Reaper here for the Outlaws.
Oh, it's 6 here for the Outlaws. On Hollywood. Oh.
Not a great sign.
Yikes.
They need to turn that around. Yoikes. Turn that around here. Chengdu will play something not only they can play, really. They're going to come in with the Sombra Genji. Really, that's a combo-focused team composition.
I like the inclusion of Batiste here for the Outlaws on defense. Being able to use the Immortality field against some of these divers. It's something that when you get close range, the Immortality is like directly above you. it's a little bit jarring to have to take out. So they do get a hack here on the aiming. They're going to pull him in, and that'll be it.
Yeah, you got halted, hooked, and hacked.
But
Not in that order.
That's why teams don't play like this type of composition. I mean, especially when the other team's going to play Sombra. Maybe you have Jinmu switch like a Pharah here? Yeah, I mean, you can play the Pharah if you want. Evilto's going back as well. So
They're still fighting, even with Jinmu back in spawn. So that
they don't.
why are the Hunters staying here with when they know that 3 of their players are... Yeah, okay.
That's what they do.
Well, the Outlaws will take a free fight win and get Linksa close to that first Blizzard. But yes, the Pharah switch has come.
Could you play Orisa here? This is a situation for the Hunters. You could play Orisa like some poke comp and move up slower, but
Yeah.
it seems like they've just
Oh dear. Dante's in trouble. Yeah.
he'll get taken out. No translocate, evidently. So
He used it, and they knew where it was. His translocator was actually very far forward towards Chengdu's spawn. Okay, well that might be enough to get him through. Wrecking Ball or not. Aim on. Trying to drop back down there with the nano boost. No one's really giving him a great option here. Take a breather. Spree trying to hang on. Not for long, though. Point getter with Jinmu. There you go. One of the only real direct counters to the Pharah. And the Blizzard's now in play. Jinmu's brought back to life with the Outlaws safely in the shade of the cafe currently. Elsa somehow is sticking around. He'll try and get himself resuited here with that Bunny Blaster. Linksa doesn't want that to happen.
yeah, the Outlaws.
Did he just wreck Jinmu from the ground?
He did.
What a monster!
It's a nice shot there from Linkser. They do have to use their Blizzard in that fight. Elsa will get frozen, then headshot there towards the end. You do have ultimates here, though, for the Hunters. You'll have the EMP plus Minefield.
Yes, you get it, Linksa.
It's a very interesting spy checking technique.
Yeah. Looks like he's waving around a pool noodle. Movement behind that shield. The Chengdu Hunters, Matt. What have they got this time? It is a widespread minefield, which is mostly shut down by the EMP. Dante also gets Yan Xiaolong and Amon, but not the Evil Tile Jinmu combo. So the Pharah Mercy composition still in the skies.
EMP from Chengdu only connects with 2 there. They're going to use the nano on Amon here, trying to make a play for the point. That'll be a self-destruct and Blizzard that comes in for the Outlaws. And Rocket Barrage from Jinmu, he's able to connect with 2.
Getting 2 there is huge value. Lynx is having to get rid of Evil Tile, though. Where does Amon go? Surely he tries to get rid of Dante here. There's actually another Hunters player inside the cafe below. That's Yan Xiaolong, but Amon is frozen. Should be able to walk away from that. 50 seconds left! Linksa, that's such a huge kill. That is so big here.
This is a map the Outlaws have not won.
I know.
And they are 40 seconds away from getting a full hold here.
Dante EMP on the horizon.
Somewhere Custa's dancing around in a Dante jersey going crazy right now. No ultimates here for the Hunters as well. EMP for Houston Outlaws.
Okay, this is a bit risky now. Kyo, get him! They got him! They trade though. Dante goes down, and he had the EMP. Houston lost.
They're going to lose Spree as well.
That massive ultimate. Linksa still be spy checking. The Hunters are a little bit split right now. They are pushing back around behind the cafe. You can see the silhouettes there. Uma, he's walked into the mines. Here comes Amon, he returns, and Elsa follows up. Pile driver into self-destruct. Just what the doctor ordered. Well, definitely not the Outlaws' position. He would have recommended staying away from anything like that, but what can you do? The Outlaws almost had the full hold there, Matt. Just fell apart.
It makes sense to push in and get the kill on Akio, but you lose Dante, and
It's not worth the trade, Matt.
no, it is not. I thought they were going to get Spree demeched, but Spree actually makes it to a health pack and a 1v1 against Elsa. Starts taking him out. Elsa just launches the self-destruct up, connects with both supports.
Bruh moment if I've ever seen one.
That's a huge play from Elsa. The Hunters stay alive here on Hollywood.
Jinmu remains in the skies here. Brooks and Point can both pressure him down, but Link's a bit up a little bit more than he could chew there. It's a 4-player EMP. Evil Tile is hit by that one. So is Jinmu, so they're forced to stay on the ground for the time being. You know this guy's going to pull the Caduceus Blaster out if he can. But now without a Pharah to keep alive, without Yan Xiaolong, the Hunters maybe will become the hunted.
They'll wait this out. No reason to push into the supercharger here, is they most likely know that there is a Blizzard
Hello.
in play. Dante playing so aggressive on the Sombra side. charging on in. How do you get past this? They move off of the Pharah, which I think at this point of the map, that's going to be an Matrix. It's probably the right move. Would be really difficult to take this high ground.
It's possible that Eviltile uses Valkyrie actually just to get out of the blast range. Although we know that Chengdu have been using that ultimate quite willy-nilly. They're just happy to bust it out whenever they need a little bit of an extra kick. Jinmu down to Dante. Minefield drop both over low and high ground by the looks of things. And Linkser is able to hold the fort right now. The problem is he can't help anyone on the high ground currently. Just has to get to work, trying to deal with Jinmu again. Elsa can't eat the blizzard, now he's frozen! Kyo, oh, he doesn't get out. Linkser gives him a little bit of help with the endothermic blaster. Yeah, oh, it's working, Matt. The guy doesn't need a Dragon Blade, he's all shurikens all the time.
Who sees a blizzard goes down? Like right on top of their Genji and just nanos him so he can dash out of it and then just picking up kills. Like, that is only a Chengdu thing. Chengdu, they win this fight, although they don't have the nano, that'll be a hack that goes on. Good body blocking there from Amon. You do have EMP Blade here to potentially take point B.
Dragon Blade will be good for Jinmu. Dante, we're looking for a big EMP here. Young Xiaolong goes for his first. Dante isn't hit by it though, was only boinking spree. Dragon Blade hits his sleep! The Sandman strikes once more, and that Dragon Blade's been shut down, but it's not enough because Eviltile pulls out the blaster and goes to town on Raucus. Dante has an EMP, but that is all the Outlaws have.
And what do you do? I mean, they're going to try and go up and res Jinmu here. They're going to be able to bring him back, so you have the Genji back in play.
Oh, Matt, the Wu-Tang clan is out in full force.
And he just two-player EMPs, Amon and Jinmu, and they run out the other side. They're going to get away.
Boink has to stall. Raucus gets hit with a pile driver and put to sleep. There is no escape. The Hunters! Oh, dear. They are hungry, Matt. And they're going to get yet another checkpoint in overtime. Unbelievable.
As Dante thinks that if he EMPs those two players, he has enough teammates coming out of spawn to be able to help him pick up those kills, and there's nobody there to do it. As now they switch over to Orisa. What are they going to play with it? Like, Orisa with, like, Mercy and Genji and Sombra, like, doesn't really make... Like, the ball makes sense because you're going to dive in. Like, what are you going to do with this type of competition? Very odd here from Chengdu, but to be expected.
Defense matrices crossing over this little gap here, making it hard for Jinmu to chase with some shurikens. Self-destruct. Oh, Kyo! Tough life for an Ana out there, Matt. No mobility, abilities to speak of, so avoiding something like that is just tough.
They will end up building up. What? They're gonna nano blade now.
Oh no!
What?
Jinmu tries. Oh, he tries. Well, that Dragon Blade's not going to get him anything, but you're watching Chengdu. Yeah, but you know, I never count Chengdu out, even when they're going for that nonsense. Elsa sleeps on the payload. Chengdu haven't really been slowed down now, but that EMP might make things a little bit harder. Yeah, Jinmu and Amon out of the pit, and you still go for an EMP after that. Chengdu.
It is kind of the final fight here, though.
They've got to get something. There was no time to recall. Young Xiaolong's brought back into the fight now. Dante tries to go for a hat. Young Xiaolong is able to translocate away. Elsa desuited. It's a brave new world out there for the desuited Diva, and it's not pretty. Wall up. Amplification Matrix doing some work, and Linkser now with the Deadeye from long range. Looking for Lucio on the high ground. He'll settle for Jinmu, though. Flash towards Kyo. Somehow he's able to get away alive, and now Young Xiaolong trying to duel it out on the payload. Forced to translocate away as well. Self-destruct in over the top. No effect. There's an immortality field on the point care of Boink, and here's another EMP to stop Amon in his tracks. The Outlaws finally shut the door in the Hunter's face, but Matt, you have to think they wanted to do that much earlier.
Yeah, I mean, Chengdu, they put together an offense that's not pretty, but they're able to take point A and point B.
Way more than they bargained for.
Yeah, really, I mean, when you looked at Chengdu's offense early, it did not look good. Went down to the wire to take it point A. They got to feel pretty fortunate about how much progress they made so far this season. We'll see if they can do it.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Nerf this. 不洗澡。Justice reigns.
All things considered, for Chengdu, man, an admirable offensive effort considering that they were almost stopped not only at point A but also at that second checkpoint. They definitely were able to squeeze blood out of a stone.
What do you do now? Like, we haven't really, they played Orisa towards the end there. You're gonna have to play it here on defense. What do they want to play it with? Do they want to play McCree Junkrat here on Hollywood D with the Zen Mercy? I mean, this is like a season 1 type of Hollywood defense.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it a bunch on Temple of Anubis as well. They're obviously expecting Dante to be on the Farah, but I feel like the Widow is definitely problematic against this particular combination of supports.
It's so weird that, like, Chengdu through the whole year, they play all these wacky comps and whatnot. They don't play any May or Reaper. They just decide to play it.
They
like,
just straight up don't like it, Matthew. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between, like, not liking it or not liking how you have to play it. Like, you still should have something you can fall back on. Like a consistent type of composition that a lot of people can play.
Sure. That's what's always made it hard to play against Chengdu as well. Sonic arrow for Linksa, just noting the position of the Diva. Elsa a little low when Kyo gets hit with a bionic grenade. Rorka sends one downfield. That is risky business for Kyo. Taking that peak, man. They get Rorka, so Young Xiaolong's able to find that headshot. Or that finish off, should I say. Or the body shot.
He ends up on the high ground and just looks to the choke and puts a few shots into Rocket.
Oh my, that is... Ooh, Dante.
They'll rest it though.
That's traded out. Both teams have a mercy, but Dante brought back into the fight now. Him on, quite far forward. Oh, there it is. Linksa catches him out though. Player advantage, Houston Outlaws and Young Xiaolong. Compromising position, he is able to get away. Rolling backwards. Valkyrie pop for the Outlaws now. You know they mean business. Them wings be popped. Dante on the flank here, but Jinmu is down, and this is a great start for Houston. A map they've historically had great difficulty with. Looks like they've got a couple of the kinks ironed out. Young Xiaolong, Deadeye onto Boink. Evil Tal though, yeah, both Mercies out of the picture now. Amon rolling on the point, and Young Xiaolong off to the side. Dante dismissively flicks a rocket in his direction. And that should be enough for the Outlaws to be on the road.
Yeah, they're just trying to get the kill here. Onto Amon, but he's going to get away. So now you'll have potentially the Wrecking Ball defense. Jinmu goes over to Hanzo. So they're gonna play double sniper. This is something that we saw them do pretty consistently on this point throughout the year. They've played a good double sniper on this point. See how the Outlaws respond. They can respond with Linksa on the Widow of his own. Dante probably wants to get a use out of this barrage. See if he's able to do so. That is a pick from Linksa.
Yeah, extremely long-range pick from Linksa. Amon looking for him. On the hunt, Linksa forced just to try and keep himself alive for the time being. There's no help for now. Gets away with the grappling hook. Oh! He got hit with a bionic grenade, but Young Xiaolong was there. They double down on Linksa. Dante goes for the barrows though, gets rid of the enemy to Widowmaker. But Spree was desuited before. Young Xiaolong went down, and Dante has a lot of work to do if he wants to keep his team moving forward. Elsa hot on the Nefari's heels. Halo not moving for the time being as Amon has now entered the fray. he just throws himself at it.
Plays so much off of the health packs as well. Allows Evil Geo to focus on a lot of other players as he's hit both Megas now. Now going to hit the minefield.
What on earth is that?
Some on the high ground, some by the cart.
Not many though, to be honest. Dante down to Jinmu though. The double snipers, the Hunters starting to draw some serious blood. Another for Jinmu. Linkser can't stand a fight, but he has no choice really. Amon will get him. Moomer's not going to escape either here. He's definitely stuck. Bit of a stagger here for Houston. Take note of the time. 3 minutes. Still plenty here for Houston. They switch though.
Yeah, they'll play Sombra here. I was going to say, do you decide to switch to the tanks? So they're going to go with Wrecking Ball here, so a little bit more of a vertical tank than, let's say, the Risa can't really access the high ground.
No one can.
Risa,
Maybe you could have played like Winston, but Winston's really not optimal compared to Wrecking Ball.
this is a top 10 anime battle. Young Xiaolong versus Linkser. Very tense Widowmaker duel. Linkser trying to take his headshot hitbox out of the picture, but Young Xiaolong is plucky. He will take this challenge. Amon comes in again. Linkser wants to try and focus on Young Xiaolong, but he's not able to. It's a trade though. Jinmu is down. The Outlaws lose Spree. Amon again just trying to make up for that one. Both Mercies getting to work now on Young Xiaolong as soon as he returns. Spree is taken down the moment he's resurrected. Both Widowmakers making big impacts here, but the payload has stalled once more.
Keo is on a bit of a flank, gets caught out in mid-street.
Bro, Young Xiaolong, bro, he wants this fight.
He's trying to get eyes on Linkser, but he gets finished off. So you have some more kills that go down. So now under 2 minutes, Ivital in Valkyrie will take out Raucus as he's been very aggressive popping that Mercy ultimate.
You see, it's tough. You have to be getting frustrated if you're Linkser. Yeah, now you switch to Genji because you're trying to take the 1v1 against Young Xiaolong, but Amon is not allowing you to do that.
I tell you what though, if they don't get good use of the EMP, the Hunters are gonna end up winning this match. I mean, you may get like a last ditch like blade, maybe you're playing for a nano blade towards the end, but you see they're trying to put so much pressure on Keo to try and force out this transcendence.
It's gonna take more than just to pick on Jinmu, although it's been a good start for Linkser on the Genji. Elsa. Oh, he's trying to patrol those high grounds. Okay, Dante might have a chance here to get something done. Amon hacked, but he managed to get off that adaptive shield first.
But they use transcendence though.
Yep. They get there. Keo doesn't get much for that one. Self-destruct goes for the EMP. It's Dante trying to get to the back line, but two supports are better than one. Dante, Cossack kicked into next Tuesday by Keo.
And they allow Elsa to remech after that self-destruct.
That's a mistake. Elsa now, oh, okay, hits a couple mines, but he's been careful for the most part. Chengdu in a great position to hold here, and the Outlaws are running out of time. Elsa has a Harmony Orb on him, and Young Xiaolong has all the space that he needs.
He just walked into the saloon here, just sat around, waited for the hack to go off, and then just remech and came back around the other side.
That's a big mistake.
He lived. Now they're going to have both support ults here. No nano boost for the Blade. Jinmu also now on Sombra will have an EMP as the Hunters have a chance to hold.
The bell is tolling for the Outlaws now, and they may have squandered their only real opportunity to stay in this map.
They could EMP early if they wanted.
Jinmu, he's revealed he doesn't want to commit. I mean, you could prevent Houston from touching by doing that, I guess. Translocator in, lights out. Moomer goes down first. Linkser gets the Dragon Blade off just before the EMP hits, but he hasn't found anything with it. Those support ults are just too strong. A late biotic grenade. Raucus connecting with both Keo and Young Xiaolong, but he needed it just a little earlier. Oh, Dante! He tried to go for the EMP, but he got interrupted by the flashbang. And Young Xiaolong disco dancing on his remains. It's just Moomer and nothing else, and that'll be it. That streak of losses continues for Houston on Hollywood. And the Hunters, one step closer to playoffs.
Chengdu just need to win one more map to make the Kit Kat rivalry again really interesting for the LA Valiant. It's a map that Houston has not won all year. They fall to 0-7 on Hollywood. Can the Hunters get it done?
We'll find out in just a moment. Map number 4. coming right at you on the other side of these messages.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Securing the objective. Ilios with it. Rain from Team for special attack. Dein Schutzengel ist da. Nerf this. Helden sterben nicht.
The guy's ridiculous.
He makes it look so easy.
Always in the right spot, always does his job, captain consistent, and when you need that clutch play, Junkertown always seems to come up with it.
고등학교 3학년 그때부터 프로게이머 하고 싶었어요.
Junkertown comes from a background of video game players. He's talking about how his mom played like StarCraft growing up.
나오고 나서부터 오버워치를 했는데 오버워치가 더 재밌어가지고 이제 전 세계 대회에 와서 이제 전 세계들한테 보여지니까 뭔가 더 잘해야겠다는 생각도 들고 한편으로는
So there's a lot of divas that we look at who are just fine and they do their job and it's perfect. Then there's other divas who are big playmakers and they show up big. And Junkertown is the perfect blend of both of those things.
제가 MVP 후보로 뽑혔는데 솔직히 저는 아직 실감이 안 나고 솔직히 저한테는 좀 과분하다는 생각을 좀 많이 들기도 해요. 왜냐면은 그 외에도 더 다른 포지션으로도 더 잘하고 더 인기 있는 사람들이 많은데
I feel like he's a phenomenal player and he gets overlooked quite often.
It's always with diva players that you never really see what they're doing until they have a giant play.
I think when you watch Junkertown, like he makes these like crazy highlight plays and sometimes you don't even recognize them because he makes it look so casual. Sometimes his skill kind of goes underappreciated.
The entire off-tank role is about being hyper-aware. Feel for when to launch in his ultimates to pick up big 3Ks.
He always puts the bomb in the right place.
Comes up with another bomb!
He's the glue that holds them together, defending his team, about being aggressive, and also setting up Bumper for success and making him look very good.
솔직히 실감은 안 나지만 이렇게 된 김에 진짜 MVP를 받을 수 있게 진짜 좋은 모습을 보여드려야 하지 않나 싶어요.
Cast your vote on Twitter using #OwlMVP and the player's battle tag, or during any remaining regular season broadcast on Twitch. Voting ends on August 25th, so let your voice be heard.
back, everybody, and yes, your time is running out to put in your MVP votes. Of course, you can do it over on the Twitch overlay or a hashtag OWLMVP in the battle tag of the player you want to be voted in.
It's Johnny, obviously up for the roar for good reason. He's been a fantastic player throughout the whole Overwatch League season,
and especially
for one of the best teams.
The first 3 stages, which people kind of forget about now, but that's again a reason the Titans are.
It's still 75% of the season.
Cruising so well. It is, and it was obviously the dominant. That's where Johnny was playing fantastically. But back to this match.
Oh yeah.
It looked like the Outlaws had a chance on Hollywood, I'll be honest with you. Matt, they were coming close here. They managed to put up a good defense, and then they just got shut down. Again, the chaos seemed to take hold, and it seemed to make them rather frazzled.
And map 1, I mean, goes down to the wire. I mean, we could already be looking at a scenario where the Valiant would need to win both of their games next weekend. At the rivalry weekend to get in. We do have a sub here for what could be potentially our final map of the series. It'll be Bacon Jack who comes in for Young Jialong. So they make a change in terms of which hit scan damage dealer they have in. For map 4, they bring in Bacon Jack. They do move around quite often.
He's often an inclusion for map 4.
So Junkertown is the map. You think they make this change because they want you to play Widowmaker the entire time, or most of the time. So the Widowmaker specialist comes in. Another map the Outlaws haven't won. I mean, if you were like the Valiant, you couldn't see a worse map pool for your boys out here. They had not won Hollywood all year and not won Junkertown.
In fairness, it hasn't been stellar for the Hunters, so pretty even. Linkser, first blood on the Bacon Jack here. Bacon Jack will persist on the Widowmaker. It's just 1 pick, it's all he needs. Payload is on the move. Coins being thrown everywhere.
I will say an advantage for the Outlaws here is this is not a good wrecking ball map. Like, especially here on this first point, like not a lot of areas where a wrecking ball can make use of the grapple and like access like high ground and punish people on flanks. Maybe towards the second point of the map, but really this is going to be a Orisa hog map that the Hunter's going to have to figure out.
Oh, Dante! Oh, jeez! Cops a big hit there. Jinmu trying to chase in. Oh my gosh, this is quite the battle. The payload has stopped, so there's really no pushing it any further now until we can get a flank going on, and Amon has seen better days! Well, like Muma was blasting off again.
Inversight was used there, so that's why the payload kind of stalled out for a bit.
You can't flank safely. Linkser, does he know that Bacon Jack was just outside of his periphery? It doesn't matter. Both snipers from the Outlaws, though, found their marks.
If you're the Hunters, you used your Valkyrie, and then it was a nice hold hook combo. They use Transcendence in Valkyrie.
Jinmu might be trying to spawn camp for Boink again. You can see where he's positioned. I think the Outlaws have realized this, though.
I think Linkser's gone back.
Yeah, he has. Still a bit of risk there. Again, if Jinmu it's a tough one. With Mercy being there, even if Jinmu kills Linkser, he just gets resurrected. So what can Bacon Jack do now that the Outlaws have spent a bit of time looking in their back line? Ult.
That'll get them walls.
Now what? And the Outlaws aren't really trying to obscure too much, except for the positioning of Linkser. Linkser had to keep his head down for now. Oh man. I tell you what, Bacon Jack was looking at Raucus there. It would have been an easy shot with that hole. He doesn't find him though. Muma hastily replaces his shield, but Amon tries to push ahead of it, trying to get rid of the supercharger. Muma attempting to body block Amon here, but Kyo's already gone down, and Amon realizes his opportunity to get aggressive might have ended, but the snipers strike true. Dante is down. Linkser has to save this now. He gets rid of Jinmu. That's not bad. It's his second kill for the fight. Here comes the supercharger, and Muma is lost at sea. A third for Linkser now. There needs to be more from the Widowmaker. There needs to be some presence here on the point. Transcendence from Raucus. But it looks like the Outlaws are backing up. Here they come again. Spree pushes up. Dante's right there. Linkser's trying to get a little bit of distance. Raucus very close to being taken down. Moving away with a Discord orb from Kyo. And it's a 1-for-1. Linkser's missing, but Kyo is finally down. Self-destruct from Elsa, though, is better. Gets rid of Spree. And now Jinmu's starting to hurt, man. This is where the snipers for Chengdu come alive. They're sat safe in the back line. It's a matter of time.
They finally get the payload over the line. Only about a minute was left there, so Muma switches over to Wrecking Ball. Probably will go back, play the Orisa here. Second part of the map is Jinmu with the 5 final blows there. Really makes the impact on Hanzo. Is Bacon Jack now within Inversight. This can buy them some space. If they start to use the walls, it's like the Outlaws start to try and come around the corner. Maybe they're a little bit more hesitant. can't allow the snipers or the hunters to get in this type of position as
Defense matrix to save Raucus's bacon there. Excuse the pun. Bacon Jack knows approximately where Boink is standing. Raucus again taking another hit. This payload's been advancing for free right now. This infraside's been a huge window for Bacon
that was
Jack.
the Dragon Strike that Raucus got weak to. That's a nice halt there from Boomer. Allows Spree to go in.
They need to res Boomer.
Spree another.
They need to protect Boink, they do. Okay, they need to stop this payload though, because it's been a-moving. Self-destruct, Dante gets himself out of the way. Dragon Strike here, that's going to cut off the retreat, or force Amon to take a lot of damage as he tries to back away. And Dante's not aware of this. He could have chased Amon down, but he's happy just to get rid of Elsa.
It's a lot of good payload progress, though.
Oh, that was all free as well. That infrasight from Bacon Jack?
Infrasight and Dragon pretty much got them all of that. As Dante will take a Jinmu here. But you come back, you have a Supercharger. Potentially you pop like Valkyrie's Supercharger, kind of forces Transcendence out of Raucus, or else you would just kind of like blow up the entire Outlaw squad. And then you can use your own Transcendence, even it up. It's a pretty big investment.
Oh, the pick.
Nice pick there from Linkser. So
Resurrect here, surely, unless it's a little bit too dangerous.
nah, he's far.
Oh, he is. He was
big.
flanking on
Yeah.
the low ground.
I mean, now if Linkser gets balls, I mean, this is
Another!
huge.
This time it is a resurrect. Bacon Jack has rejoined his team. Linkser. Poison Mine means that Jinmu needs to remain out of the fight for a little while, lest he be revealed. But, well, Infrasight comes in anyway. Okay. Jinmu, they're trying to even the playing field with a Sonic Arrow, but Linkser is in a good spot now. Waiting for him to peek. Ooh, the timing had to be... Oh, he's run straight to Orisa. Keo gets two. Runs Boink and Linkser down. I don't think either Boink or Linkser were ready for the Hunters to have moved up so far. Maybe miscommunication for the rest of their team.
And Raucus gets halted down from the high ground and pops Transcendence right away.
Dante has to go big here. He's trying to flank around, get some pressure on Jinmu and Bacon Jack. And Amon wants to push in. That payload is going to get to the checkpoint now. There needs to be some contest. Great infrasight timing, but Jinmu still goes down. He could see Linkser through walls, and even that wasn't enough. Payload is under 2 meters away from the checkpoint, and now the fighting's getting real. Evil Talon is taken down, and the Supercharger is a huge boon for the Outlaws. But Keo again strikes with double. Spree and Muma. Spree needs to get back in the mech, but it's not going to work out. Even with the Supercharger, the Outlaws again let the Hunters slip through their fingers.
Nice shots from Keo at the end, playing Zenyatta. You take a look, his POV.
Oh my
They're
God.
hiding from that self-destruct, but he comes right around the corner, finishes 2 players off. You know, Linkser has gotten the better of this Widowmaker battle.
Every time,
But
yeah.
it's still not stop the Hunters. Like, the Hunters still able to make tons of good progress.
Jinmu was still out there causing a lot of problems.
I mean, look,
Dimmer just wrecking Bacon Jack. Okay, Amon down. All right, the Outlaws might actually be able to set up a forward defensive hold now and give their double snipers enough space. I like the swagger, Linkser. Infrasight available now for the Houston Outlaws Widow. Sonic Arrow will suffice for now. Elsa, hoped to get back up on the high ground. He didn't make it.
60 seconds to use walls. Sonic Arrow as well for the Houston Outlaws. Have to be a slow attempt here for the two Hunters. So
Walls are up.
not a good dragon. A little too far away from the hall.
Doesn't do a heck of a lot to stop the Outlaws from just standing where they please. This angle now isn't very good for Linkser with Amon's shield where it is, but that shield gets taken down awful quick. Linkser's looking for Bacon Jack that whole time, but his opponent this time playing a little safer. Transcendence for Outlaws. What are they planning? They need to get some value out of this heal. Self-destruct being thrown in behind them. They got to be ready for this 1-2, and they are. Dante a little bit too far forward though. Holds. Amon trying to line him up. No good. He's taken down by Spree self-destruct.
That may be it here for the Hunters offense as Eviltal fall. Keo, the only one trying to make a play for it, is he's just on Zenyatta, not able to make it back towards the cart. So that will be the end of payload progress there for the Chengdu Hunters. And I gotta say, if they don't get a better second half out of their Widowmaker, you will see a Game 5 here.
Again, this is similar to what we saw in Hollywood though. The Hunters finished most of the map when it comes to defense. They really slow the pace down.
Look at this shot.
Linksa has been very important.
Bacon Jack is above him. I believe he sees him grapple here. See Bacon Jack's kind of, yep, sees him grapple right above.
That's when you know he's feeling it. He's going to have to produce more of that now, especially as they turn around on the attack. They just ground to a hold on Hollywood.
And if you're the Outlaws, you know, getting him on Widow against Bacon Jack, who is on the bench for games 1 through 3. They just throw him in here as the Widowmaker specialist, which is really hard against somebody who's been playing on the stage.
He's warmed up. He's been dealing with Junkertown all series.
Yeah, I mean, even some Widowmaker as well through the series. So to have somebody come off the bench just to exclusively play Widow here in the final map, very difficult situation for Bacon Jack to be put into. So see how he maybe gets a little bit hot after the first half, a little bit warm on the stage now.
And don't forget, the real thing that unraveled the Outlaws in their attack on Hollywood was definitely Amon. He was a big part of it. Amon has to play Orisa on this map. Yeah. He can't play Wrecking Ball, not reliably anyway. Otherwise it means that Kia and Eviltal are easy game for the snipers. Prepare yourself for a lot of sniper action. 2 Hanzos, 2 Widows on the field. And out the door they go, both with the Mercy Zen set up, which is customary for double. Sniper and Bacon Jack will strike first.
I think they're just not, the defense matrix of Spree just wasn't there. As Luma's coming out, wants to get a shield onto the cart. Spree's matrix just either a little bit too far away or slow.
Such a compact setup from the Outlaws early. Like, Linksa had no opportunities to get a pick on someone who was out of position. Dante doesn't get halted, he'll be pleased with that. And now we're going to go into the classic flanking Hanzo duel. Spree might need some firepower help there, Dante. This battle is important.
Yeah, I just went to go check.
Payload is about to come to a halt here until the Outlaws can start to get some picks. Good pressure on Elsa. He is a sliver of health, and yeah, he is desuited. Oh! Jinmu wins out though. Muma, oh my gosh, look at that burst damage Muma just took. He's in trouble. Amon realizes he can go aggressive now, and Kyo gets the kill.
Yeah, they get the res for the Outlaws, but you're gonna lose Muma in the side of it.
Too aggressive.
It may not matter. Yeah, they get too aggressive, the Hunters. They end up losing just about everybody here.
Isn't that crazy? You know, you see how low Muma goes. So Amon walks forward, tries to halt the Orisa into him.
The kill.
But they push ahead of Amon's shield, and he doesn't replace it quickly enough. Look at Spree, he's popping off there. Belgian national, rattling off orders. And there it is, the Outlaws get their first checkpoint. 5 minutes in the tank. That is a thing as an Outlaws fan you'd love to see.
Now they'll play Roadhog, and they're going to bring the Mei in. So now you'll play Mei here. So Jinwoo's going to go Mei. They want to probably play for the choke here.
They play Mei less than 8% of the time, the Hunters, this stage.
Busts out here on Junkertown. Yeah, that'll be a Dragon Strike here. Luma tries to get a halt, but not connect with anybody. They're going to kill Bacon. Trying to push him out of the high.
He's in trouble. He's way behind. He's going to get run down by Spree, and there it is. Trait though. Kyo has had one of those pretty insane series actually. Dante's been brought back to life though, and now so is Bacon Jack. Bacon Jack, that was a very deep Mercy run to try and bring Bacon Jack into the fight again.
And it's huge. Eviltal gets the T-Mac on the Spree, then gets the res, and then they take care of Spree. Kyo has to use a Transcendence on the front side of the fight.
Just pull Blaster with Valkyrie, get rid of Spree, and then res
Bacon Jack.
That's absolutely insane.
And, you had to burn Transcendence on the front side of the fight to keep everybody up. But what a play. I mean, keeping Bacon Jack alive there is now you've held this choke. Do the Outlaws have to switch? They do. They switch off of their Widowmaker, so they keep the Hanzo here, and they're going to bring in the Mei. So Bacon Jack now will be a little bit easier for him to play very far and try and get some of these pickoffs.
Oh, that hurts! Sometimes, Matt, that is all you need.
And there's like, I mean, we can take another look at that, but that is just a self-destruct up over the top.
Look at the halt, look at the halt.
The halt.
And the wall.
And the wall.
Oh. That was what the Outlaws needed. Things were starting to slide away from them, but they break the deadlock with a huge self-destruct.
Blizzard here, it's gotta be good from Jinmu.
Self-destruct, sorry, ooh, drag, yep. Dragon Strike there from Dante, able to cut away most of this entrance, and Elsa's in trouble. He goes for the whole hog there, where he probably wanted to take a breather. No respite for you, my friend. Now the Hunters had to defend this last part of the map. That's 2 checkpoints with 4 minutes left.
Yeah,
Map 5 is looking like it's happening.
It's not even a full defense. You can see the box of victory there from Dante's screen. They do not have to get far. See, just get the payload just a little bit further, about 20 more meters, and we'll have a game 5.
I mean, the Chengdu Hunters are caught up in this side. There's a wall up. How are they going to touch the payload? Jinmu low, goes for a blizzard on the high ground. It is going to freeze movement. No, maybe not. There it is. Map 5 secured for the Houston Outlaws. It ain't easy, it ain't clean, but it is the Outlaws' way. And it all is going to end on control, Matt. Linksa, he had to be big on that second half. Junkertown, he dominated 13 final blows, 4 deaths. Switching over to the May at the end. And that has secured now a tiebreaker map in this series. And the Valiant look on with bated breath. Don't go anywhere. There's a lot riding on this match right now. Stick around, we'll be back very soon.
Heroes never die. Helden sterben nicht. Sterben nicht. 洞主，不许走！洞主，不许走！
It has been a long season for the Houston Outlaws, full of ups and downs. And now we head into their final map of the 2019 Overwatch League season.
It's kind of funny. You know, at the end of the year, you kind of think back on all the games that have gone down, and you know, the Valiant, a team who could not win Game 5 since Stage 1, where all they would have needed is one Game 5 of their own winning.
One map.
now they have to rely on a Game 5 win for another team to actually have a, to make it in potentially. Obviously they still have matches left of it.
Remember,
they could still do it, but
that was Houston's first Junkertown win as well.
yeah, that's right. They needed the Outlaws to win a map they've not won this year. And I do think for Chengdu, it was a little bit, like, I think you can make some substitutions, and I think bringing Bacon Jack in made sense. We'll have another sub, though. Young Jalong comes in for Bacon Jack. I think just bringing in a player who hasn't played at all in the series to play a hero like Widowmaker against a player who has played Widowmaker for 3 maps, it's tough. It's really tough. I mean, we do have Widowmaker specialists in the league now, as we can take a look at the map set, but
Man,
to do that is it's pretty rough.
if Chengdu are unable to win this map, this is also the last time they played
Yeah.
in the 2019 season.
The Outlaws 1-5 here.
The numbers not favoring them, but they didn't on Junkertown either. This is honestly, I say it often, it all comes down to this. The Houston Outlaws want to exit on a high note here from the season. The Hunters trying to make playoffs. Into Junkertown we go.
The Hunters roll out with an aggressive composition built around the Wrecking Ball Sombra Doomfist combo. The Outlaws, maybe they expected a Pharah here. They'll have Linkser play Widowmaker up on the high ground, if they'll play Widow Pharah. They're going to dive right onto Linkser.
Oh!
Nice. Oh, that was beautiful. The fantastic sleep from Raucus. And then also, Spree on the other side and connected with a hook onto Eamon. So you lose him. Could not ask for a better start there for the Outlaws.
Chengdu thought they had the initiative when that fight began. Oh, Elsa. Yeah. I'm sorry, buddy. That's what it's like. The streets is real for them mini divas, and Sleep Dart connects as well.
And I'm kind of surprised that Chengdu's answer to the Widow Pharah is going to be a Pharah of their own. Like, to go up against the Widow. Like, you can play a lot on the outside, like a lot of angles where it'll be hard for Linkser to see, but just the threat of losing either your Mercy or your Pharah here is pretty devastating.
So they put a lot of emphasis on getting rid of Linkser, but not this time. This time he's got some space, and he needs to use it well.
Jinmu just playing in the back there, just shooting rockets through the window.
Oh, he knew Amon to be there. That's right, he has played Knifey Spoony before. Might, watch yourself. Amon comes in for the roll, Linkser in for a sight, although I think it's pretty clear where the Hunters are set up right now. Elsa, is that a concussive blast opportunity? Dante doesn't go for it either way. Amon finally gets rid of Linkser, but remember who's in control of the point. Amon's able to get 2, Evil Toe with the blaster, it's not enough! Point's also down on the point though, and Spree got hacked. Coalescence had to be used here for the Hunters. It's good for a fight win though. Dante will try and stall, as will Muma, for as long as they can. The Outlaws, 74% on the clock.
And Linkser changes away from Widow, will go to McCree now.
Huge D-suit.
They'll self-destruct, get the mech back, but you do lose the self-destructibility. So, Dante will play Sombra, so it's going to be very difficult. Linkser, much of a dive target here, as you see, he does get nano boost.
Yeah, they keep Linkser alive. Now, the Electric Cowboy doesn't get much damage done, but keeping him up almost seems more important. Look at Linkser, he knows. Amon or Elsa going to be looking to try and get rid of his backline, get rid of Raucus. Deadeye time. Line him up. Jinmu just around the corner. Linkser has to try and get it done the old-fashioned way. He's asleep and he's down. Dante back in the fight. Flash came out on towards Amon, but it doesn't affect him. Kyo now with the Coalescence across, and Young Xiaolong with 2. The Outlaws have to reset.
Hunter's going to get really aggressive. They want to get both picks on the supports here. They'll finish Raucus. Gonna hack on his health back here just to get ult up. They want to keep like pushing over here.
It appears so. Young Xiaolong, the more charge he can get for another EMP. If he gets another EMP, the Outlaws might not have a chance in this round at all.
Just camp the Mercy here. So then he gets out. Yeah, that's a smart play. He didn't want to get the risk of being slept. The Hunters are going to pass the Outlaws in terms of percentage here shortly.
This McCree needs to start finding value, because now it's going to be even on the clock. 74 to 74. Dante, though, has that EMP. Now Xiaolong is not far away from it himself, and this needs to be a clean connection. This needs to be lights out, literally and figuratively. And there it is, the EMP connects on a 3. Linksa now springs forward, the Electric Cowboy once more unleashed.
Supercharger
But look
as
at
well.
this. The Hunters just stay safe for that headshot. Kyo sends him sprawling off the map. Houston need to take this point back quickly. If they stall out any longer, this could be a problem. Deadeye, aim on, walks up into it. Linksa finishes the job. Oh, in the sky! Linksa. You might want to see a chiropractor about that, Jinmu.
You're okay, though, if you're the Chengdu Hunters. You have an EMP to use here. You have self-destruct and coalescence. They're not going to have either of their support ultimates. No EMP. They use Nano Boost and Supercharger in that fight. You just need to force a fight on the point here.
Chengdu had
Chengdu Hunters.
win condition. The win condition in EMP. Now Xiaolong hits it. Aimon drops the ball. 2 with a pile driver, and Young Xiaolong finds 1. The Outlaws are down a half now. We are into overtime. It doesn't look like they're coming back from that one, Chief. They're in control. Overtime ticks down, and Dante goes over the edge. Muma tries to get there, but it's Mutant's Cradle on the point.
Rains from above.
And Chengdu take the first round in this map 5 tiebreaker.
Chengdu is 1 point of control away from getting to 13 and 15. Very important. And also putting the pressure on the Valiant. Chengdu wins this round of control. For the Valiant to have a chance to play off, to get in, they will have to win both games at the rivalry weekend. If the Outlaws can come back and take it, the Valiants are good. They still need to win 1 game, though.
EMP, look at this follow-up. Damage on the roll through, and damage on the pile driver. Carnage. Here we go, control center for our second round. Again, the McCree for Linksa, he's sticking to it. 5 final blows, 4 deaths.
Doomfist for Jinmu here going up against the Sombra of Dante. So they ran this on Ilios. They ran the Doomfist into Sombra, but at that time it was Young Xiaolong running the Doomfist. Jinmu very strong on Doomfist. Does get hacked up. Trying to find Dante, not able to connect.
Young Xiaolong, the epitome of unbridled aggression. So far on Li Jiang Tower. Oh, he's in trouble. Nice dinks there from Linksa. Can't complete the kill though. Young Xiaolong realizes discretion is the better part of valor. Gonna go again. This time it's good. Dante helps Linksa out there. Look at this. That is satisfying. Starting to chain some of these shots together. Linksa's looking dangerous now.
Young Xiaolong will switch off of McCree and go Sombra. Do you stay on Doomfist here? Like, how confident do you feel in the Doomfist going up against McCree and Sombra?
How confident do you feel when you actually can't get in? Like,
Yeah, I mean, you're going up against Orisa, McCree, Sombra, like some of the best heroes to deal with a Doomfist.
all right.
Stay on it.
Change of tact required for the Hunters, evidently. Dante
Has an EMP. At Chengdu again, as
Why
soon
not?
as he gets in. I mean,
take note of Dante's positioning here. Young Xiaolong,
I might need this later.
maybe a hack on Raucus. Okay, Dante is revealed here. He's got to go for it now. It's got to be big, but they've lost Linksa already. They've got to make up for lost time and lost personnel, the Outlaws. They get Young Xiaolong early. The coalescence follow-up is good. That'll do.
so it'll be about 50% in counting on the point now for the Outlaws. There goes Elsa off the side.
Good sport, Elsa is. He's had that done to him multiple times this series. Just shrugs it off and goes again.
You're not worried at all here for the Outlaws. You can play a little bit further back. You have Supercharger. You can combo that with Deadeye.
Sound barriers on the horizon.
You know they're not close to EMP. You know they're not close to Meteor Strike. This could be a throwaway round for the Hunters. I mean, just based off of composition choice.
Linksa, though, gets caught. The trade for Jinmu, though. Amon drops in pile driver. He's good at getting his own kills, this man. Transcendence now on the point. The Outlaws, this is a bit more compromising, but Evil Tile goes down with sound barrier. So it's only going to be Transcendence, and it's not a good one from Chengdu. Meteor Strike, I mean, you just drop wherever, try and get a kill, right? Raucus doesn't seem to be bothered at all. Jinmu's doing cartwheels.
You just can't do this if you're the Hunters. Like, it's just a composition you probably cannot
But they stuck to it, Matt. Them sticking to their guns seems to have hurt them pretty badly this time around. Young Xiaolong needs an EMP, needs to not get taken down. He gets it, but he has to translocate away. Linksa's Deadeye, skulking in the corner. And he'll hold it. Gonna go looking for the trace of the flashes there. Oh, Young Xiaolong He's taken
Elsa
down.
both supports.
Self-destruct's good for Elsa. Young Xiaolong, though, no chance to EMP, and Lynx is waiting once more for Jinmu to show himself. EMP from Dante on the point, though. It is good, and it is a game now.
That is not a composition you can run if you're the Chengdu Hunters. Like, it is, you're forcing something that's extremely difficult, and the Outlaws have the full advantage in what they're running. Although, if you're the Hunters, you got to this position, have a chance at the playoffs doing just exactly that, forcing some things. So anytime they work, oh, it's Moo's birthday, happy birthday, Moo. It's Jinmu now, potentially, for this final point, could play the Pharah. This would also force like a Widowmaker or a Kree from the Outlaws. Do the Outlaws want to just avoid the Pharah completely, though, and play dive here? That's also an option.
Raucus interacting with the front row there. Who knows where we go from here? It doesn't get any closer than this. The Outlaws trying to go out with a bang, keep the Hunters out of playoffs and get their mates, the Valiant, in. Jinmu going deep, early foray here, looking for a concussive blast. Uncontested in the skies so far, and Lynxer is felled already.
Maybe they didn't expect the Pharah, because they've been playing for the Pharah like they did on point 1, right? They came out with the Widowmaker, and this time they decided to play dive. Maybe play for the point. You think the Pharah is not as effective, but just the poke damage that comes down from Jinmu just way too much.
Wholesale changes for the Outlaws here. They must switch.
But can you get the Orisa across the bridge here with the displacement from the Wrecking Ball?
Not easily.
The Pharah, and also the potential to be hacked. I think Muma probably has to stay on ball
I
here.
think he switches still. I think they still need the Orisa no matter what.
So they're gonna make the change, and they're gonna have McCree instead of the Widowmaker. So
Chengdu, man, look at how much damage they got done in that last fight, the build up to their first wave of ultimates.
this is all on Jinmu. Jinmu plays well positioned, doesn't get picked off, able to put down like damage like we know Jinmu can. This is a point that the Hunters can very well win.
Evil Tal is there for the resurrect though if things go awry. Defense matrix employed as Jinmu tries to peek around a corner. Amon is actually the first casualty. Dante, it's a trade, but Spree shuts Jinmu down. A 2 for 2 now. Support still alive on both sides. Young Xiaolong late in the fight. This is a disaster for Houston.
They hold on to their EMP as well. You have the minefield to split players off of the point. Self-destruct as well as things are starting to look up for the Chengdu Hunters.
I mean, Matt, they are. This is very bad for Houston, coming back from this kind of deficit.
What do? Do you nano boost Lynxer and just hope he can get a pick?
Against what? Elsa and Amon are going to get in his face and shut him down. They need something special here, Matt. Young Xiaolong's about to make them very sad. Oh, Lynxer has a feeling he might be close by. Doesn't quite know where.
You can also hold this. Like, if you get an early kickoff, like, look, I mean, that minefield's going to
Here it is.
point off.
Lynxer gets away. Young Xiaolong's forced to translocate out, and a 1-for-1 trade comes through. Evil Tal is down. The Outlaws, how? How do they win this fight? Elsa gonna charge into the point, and there's a sound barrier. Now the Outlaws can hold on for a little longer, but Spree is low on health. And with Coalescence coming across the point, it's looking dicey. Self-destruct now to get the mech back for Spree, and Lynxer tries very hard to get rid of Amon on the point, but that's all he's gonna get. Here we're into overtime, and the Outlaws, this may be their final stand of 2019. Spree gets nano boosted to stay alive a little bit longer, but the Hunters are in control. Boink now steps up to the plate. Amon's still looking healthy, and he's looking to bomb people off the edge of map. Overtime, look at the wing bird down. On the point now is Muma. And Lynxer is rejoined on the Doomfist, taking a bit of damage there from Kyo. Trying to stay alive. He can't hang around. Bionic Grass drains the life away from Lynxer in the hopes of the Outlaws might be following. Jinmu close range barrage destroys Muma, and it's over. The Chengdu Hunters give themselves a darn good shot now at the play-ins. And the Houston Outlaws in their final game of 2019 put on a stoic performance. And they went all the way, but nobody does it like Chengdu.
Sometimes you end up in like a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors in terms of like control on who comes out on what, and to be able to get control of the point first. Maybe they didn't think Jinmu was going to commit and play the Pharah there early because the Outlaws kept coming out with that Widowmaker pick early on. But Jinmu comes out with the Pharah, puts down good damage, gives the Hunters the advantage there on that final point. and the Outlaws never able to really make an impact, get the point back in their favor. Man, that is a huge win for the Hunters.
For the Outlaws, we may not see quite the same faces come next year. We'll see. You know, obviously, rosters unlock, trades can happen. It's been a pleasure to see this 6-7-man roster of the Outlaws so far this season. But the Hunters going to get to play some playoff Overwatch. We're going to head down to the floor now with Emily.
Thank you, Mitch and Matt. What an incredible and meaningful win for the Chengdu Hunters. My heart is still pounding right now. Everyone give it up again for Among and the Chengdu Hunters. You guys are still in the hunt. You guys did your best. You guys came out on top. And I'm just curious right now, are you relieved or stressed? Because it kind of seems like fate is now in the hands of the Valiant. 我现在想知道就是，你们现在呢是压力很大呢，还是很轻松？因为现在好像命运掌握在英勇的手里，所以你跟我们解释一下，你们现在有什么感受呢？
刚才压力挺大的，但是赢了还好吧。
Earlier I was under a lot of pressure, but now I feel pretty good. Now, if the Hunters make play-ins, who would you like to face off in that first round? 那么如果拥有连败的话，那么成都就会进入 play-ins。那么在那个第一轮，你们最想面对的是哪个队伍呢？
旧金山镇的队吧，我想打败他们。
San Francisco Shock, because we want to take them down. All right, Mitch and Matt, that's all I have from here. Back to you guys.
You know, that sounds like Chengdu. Just pick one of the top teams and say, we want to face you guys first. I mean, they want to do it right or not at all. Incredible series. I mean, we saw some crazy stuff for the first two maps. I think both teams really tightened up a lot. Come Junkertown, Chengdu still, I mean, they persisted in that aggressive style. They put themselves in some pretty average situations that kind of caused them at 5. But the Outlaws weren't able to close it out. That Farah presence just a little bit too much from the Linksa McCree. Wasn't enough to get them over the line in the end.
Yeah, and then towards the end, they have an opportunity. You know, they win that first point on Li Zhang, and then the second point, they stick on that Doomfist comp the whole time, and it was just not good. And they end up pulling it out at the end behind Jinmu's Farah.
Let's talk about our player of the match, presented to you by Omen by HP. It is, this time around, Elsa.
Yes, Elsa had a very good game playing D.Va a lot of the time, and his job is very difficult on this team. A lot of other D.Vas in the league, they get to play around the Orisa, right? He's got to chase around the Wrecking Ball.
He has a really unique job.
He's got to make his own plays. A lot of big self-destructs from Elsa. I mean, this one here, really, if he doesn't connect with this bomb, I mean, look at the situation they're at. They don't have a tick there. He gets both supports. That really unlocks Hollywood from them. And
keeps him in the series,
I mean, look, sick kill contribution, you know, 133 limbs throughout that. 41k hero damage. Really good series from Elsa overall.
Yeah, D.Va now definitely an important hero, especially this time in the 2-2-2. Elsa looking good, and this is Chengdu. They stay true to themselves and true to their style, Matt. They play their way, and it's gotten them into the play-ins just, well, yeah, potentially, just barely. It's there's still a couple of things to be decided. So with Soul's win earlier on, the Gladiators have secured top 6. So that top 6 is starting to look almost like it's done.
With Soul's loss.
That's Soul's loss, sorry.
The Hunters, obviously, in 12th place. The Valiant, 1 game behind. They have to win at least one of those at the homestand. So they would need a win versus either the Gladiators or the San Francisco Shock. You see where the Gladiators and the Shock are, though. They're up high.
I mean, if you've been sat on the fence, not sure if you want to attend the Kit Kat rivalry weekend, now there's a heck of a lot more riding on that, especially if you're a Los Angeles Valiant fan. A win against either the Gladiators, who are 16-11, have had a fantastic Stage 4, or the Shock. One of those have got to win, and for the Valiant, it's tough. They go into this homestand. It's not a celebration so much as it is now a gauntlet run.
And you know, like some games, let's say if the Valiant had a game against, you pick another team who maybe doesn't have something to play for, like maybe they'd be able to go in and get an easy win. Battle of LA, like D-Pain and the Gladiators aren't going to take that one lightly,
no
right?
way.
Especially knowing like, oh, we can play spoilers to the Valiant at their homestand, and then the Shock as well.
Cali Cup, baby.
I mean, there'd be nobody I would want to see in a winner getting kind of scenario. Like you throw Super and Sinatra out there, I mean, they give you some trouble.
Oh, it's only getting better, baby. And coming up next on Watchpoint, we're going to talk about the top 6 slots secured and have a look at the updated Desk's power rankings, because apparently that is where all the content goes these days. We'll see you for Watchpoint in just a moment.
Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.